Canadian Broadcasting Corporation presents an impression of Canada's capital by Wilfred Eggleston.
The heart of every nation beats strongly in its capital city, and this is true of Ottawa, the beautiful community clustered where three mighty rivers meet, where stately towers on the cliffs of the Ottawa River look across to the ancient blue hills of the Gatineau. If Ottawa is the political heart of Canada, Parliament Hill is the core of the capital. It is dominated by one of the finest shafts of stone ever imagined by man, John Pearson's Peace Tower, which rises in Gothic grace nearly 500 feet above the lordly Ottawa. Spread out at its feet are the Houses of Parliament and the Library of Parliament, and noble rows and clusters of government buildings. The Peace Tower is a bell tower and a clock tower, and its bells echo in the heart of Ottawa, becoming a part of its very life. The exile who returns after a long absence feels an inexplicable quiver in his heart when he hears again those Canadian bells, reminding him of the land of the maple and the beaver, the fleur-de-lis and the prairie rose. Listen to them now as they strike the hour. They say the Peace Tower is almost a replica of Giotto's world-famous bell tower at Florence. It holds the finest carillon in Canada, with 53 bells that range over 4.5 octaves, with one bell that weighs as little as 10 pounds and another as much as 10 tons. On occasions of great historic moment, they are heard all across Canada, across 4,000 miles of radio and television networks. Every summer, thousands of tourists from other lands ride and climb to the gallery high up on the tower and gasp as they confront the magnificent panorama visible from those heights. What do they see? The swift blue Ottawa, one of the great waterways of the world, sweeping by at their feet as it tumbles out of rock and pine in the wilderness to the northwest, on its way to the St. Lawrence and the sea. They see the vast power of the river harnessed at the Chaudière Falls, where Algonquin Indians once tossed gifts of tobacco to placate the god or Manitou of the thunderous leap. They see the historic Rideau Canal, the Royal Mint, the National Archives, the vast laboratories of the National Research Council. They see churches and cathedrals and noble buildings housing foreign embassies. They see Norman and Gothic and Chateau architecture happily wedded, poems in stone built on the limestone cliffs commanding the river. Encircling Parliament Hill and stretching out almost as far as the eye can follow, they trace the homes and schools and parks of Canada's fifth largest city. The Peace Tower witnesses the full sweep of the Canadian seasons. For Ottawa knows the sapphire sky of polar air as the ice crystals glitter in zero temperatures. Ottawa swelters sometimes in the moist, muggy flow of superheated air from the Gulf of Mexico. But most of the year it enjoys a pleasant mean between such extremes. Every season in Canada has its unique sights and peculiar delights. In winter, these Gothic towers are tipped with ice, and they look coldly across to the ski slopes of the Gatineau Hills, across frozen rivers. In spring, the life of nature emerges with dramatic thrust, and all at once green fire races through the branches of the glorious elms. Driveways and boulevards are a riot of exotic color in the Tulip Festival. In high summer, the lush fields of the Ottawa Valley are heavy with corn and hay. Autumn comes with a clarion shout of scarlet and gold, the hardwoods and sumacs blazing red, and the air tonic with the first crisp harbinger of winter days. But by no means all the pageantry seen from the Peace Tower is the pageantry of nature. On the great green square at the base of the tower, on driveway and boulevard, in hall, office, and chamber, the chronicles of Canada are written. There is, for example, the official opening of Parliament. The Governor-General rides down in state from his residence at Rideau Hall with a military escort. He proceeds solemnly to the throne at the north end of the jewel-like Senate chamber amid age-old pomp and circumstance. Then, first in English and then in French, for this is a nation in which two noble and ancient cultures intermingle, he reads to the people's representatives the speech from the throne.
Members of the House of Commons, you will be asked to make provision for all essential services. Honorable members of the Senate, members of the House of Commons, may divine providence bless your deliberations. Honorables membres du Sénat, membres de la Chambre des Communes, il m'est agréable de vous souhaiter la bienvenue au début de cette nouvelle année, au moment où vous reprenez vos travaux parlementaires. Depuis la dernière session,
When famous figures of other lands visit Canada, it is naturally to the nation's capital that they make their way. Ottawa has seen them all as the years unroll, since Queen Victoria's eldest son, Edward, later our king, laid the cornerstone of the Parliament buildings. Here came in the darkest days of the war that doughty figure, Winston Churchill, confident of the future, scornful of those who supposed that Britain was done for.
When I warned them that Britain would fight on alone, whatever they did, their generals told their Prime Minister and his divided cabinet, in 3 weeks, England will have her neck wrung like a chicken. Some chicken. Some neck.